Hello everyone. Today is pep rally day with Clique kits, and so I have a brand new layout to share with you. This layout uses the March kit because I haven't received my April kit yet. It is on its way though, so you will start to see new projects using that kit, which features the Maggie Holmes Flourish collection very soon. I'm going to cut down this background paper. Instead of using white cardstock for this layout, I decided to go with this pattern paper because it had a really nice soft pattern to it, and I wanted to use it on a layout. I'm going to be using the specialty paper that came in the kit for this layout. This specialty paper is from Paige Evans, and it's a vellum paper. And I was talking in one of my groups about how to use this or ideas for using it. And I ended up deciding that I was super inspired to use it after that conversation. So I'm going to cut it all apart into pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the words that I think apply to my story that I want to tell. So I'm going to trim up all these different pieces of vellum and pick the ones that I think are appropriate to the story I want to tell. And then I'm going to trim them up and kind of make almost like a collage of words down the left side of my paper. I also have that cut file. That is a Paige Evans cut file, and you can find it in her Etsy shop and also in the Silhouette store. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it with a bunch of different patterns from the 6x6 paper, and also some offcuts, leftover offcuts from my kit. So I'm deciding where I want all these little vellum pieces to be. I'm just going to kind of fiddle with them a little bit and get an idea of how I want my layout to be, how I want my layout laid out. Good. That's, yeah, that made sense. I'm going to put my journaling right there, and I'm going to put my photo, and I'm going to back those suitcases. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just adding teeny tiny little dots, glue dots, to just a corner or two of this layout. And I do get my head in the way here because I was trying super hard to make them like just perfectly straight. And so I'm going to go ahead and get all of those little vellum pieces exactly where I want them. And then I'm going to stitch around all of those little vellum pieces. So they're all rectangles, made it very easy to stitch all the way around. I just went into my embroidery thread and chose colors that coordinated with my papers and with the collection. They are, I think all three of these, there were 4 stitching threads, embroidery threads that came in the kits. They included some embroidery threads, and this is the three of the colors, I think. And so I really wanted to utilize more of the embroidery thread and stitch a little bit more on some of my pages. And this is a super easy way to stitch on a layout. It doesn't require anything extra, just literally a mouse pad and a needle, and just right around all those rectangles. So I turned my camera off. I went and found myself some television that I wanted to watch, and I stitched away. I decided that because I had a lot of journaling and a kind of a big story to tell for this particular page, that I decided to print my journaling on my computer, and so now I'm just cutting apart those strips. So this is an 8.5 by 11 page about my first airplane ride all by myself. And that was when I went to Arizona in January for Creativation. So I had some mishaps. And so the journaling talks about some of those mishaps. My brother dropped me off at the airport, and I had accidentally dropped my phone in his car. So when I got to like the TSA part and going through security, I didn't have my boarding pass because my boarding pass was on my phone. And I also did not have my phone, which made it like, how do I call my brother and tell him my phone is in his car? And yeah. So I wanted to tell that story about how, it definitely wasn't like totally smooth, and it was the first time I'd ever flown anywhere all by myself. So that's the story that I wanted to tell. And both of my flights were so jam-packed full that I ended up like in the middle. So it was even like hard to really take pictures. Like that is the best picture I have from both flights. I just have that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and I journaled all about the flights and how it was the first time I'd ever flown. And I went ahead and backed that cut file with all the different papers for the suitcases. And that's going to be like the main embellishment area of my layout. So for my title, I decided to go with this 2x2, one of the 2x2 patterns. This is the one that's in the Phrases 2x2 book. And I didn't want a square. So what I did was I fussy cut out all of the parts of the little saying, and I'm going to use that kind of as my title down there at the bottom. This layout was really easy to do because once I had the stitching done and once I backed the cut file, because it's an 8.5 by 11 layout, it kind of like it was full. You know, there wasn't a ton of embellishing to do. I am going to choose to do a couple of things, and you'll see that in a minute. But right now I'm just adding some pop dots and getting my title up. So the next thing I want to do is this is the haberdashery kit, which was an add-on. And I am taking all of these little pieces. There's enamel pieces, there's some shaped sequins. And what I'm doing is I'm going to fill in the little gaps between my vellum sayings, and I love how this looks. It just adds a little bit of interest, and it kind of defines that strip that I have down the side. And now what I'm going to do is I want to add just a little pop of color, just a little pop of floral. So I'm going to put a floral die cut beside my suitcases and a button, and then I am going to go ahead and grab one of these chipboard pieces of floral because I was out of florals and I really wanted more on this page, and I'm going to put it right there. But what that does to me is it leaves that gap at the top, and I wasn't really keen on it. Something needed to go there, right? There's that space between where my journaling starts and the top of the page, and I really felt like it needed something more. I put that little sequin there, but the sequin didn't really cut it. There's still like some trapped white space stuff going on there. So I'm going to go ahead and I just want to adjust this floral. I got the smallest floral off the chipboard sheet, but it was still like kind of bigger than I wanted. And chipboard, you can't cut it. I couldn't like pop it off the side and then trim it down because it would have been like a disastrous mess. So I'm going to flip through this Phrases book and see if there's anything else that maybe I can like cut out or add. And no, there isn't. And I know that there isn't any more wording in my die cuts. I've already used them all. So I'm going to pull out that chipboard sheet again, and I'm going to go with this little scripty thing that says today. It fit in there. It kind of filled in that empty space. I felt like it filled in the trapped white space that was really bugging me, and it really did the job well. So that's going to complete my pep rally layout today. Be sure to head over to Instagram and see all of the other fabulous girls that are doing the pep rally with us today, and I will talk to you all very soon. Lots of close-ups for you, and yeah, soon it'll be time to open up those April kits. Have a wonderful day. Bye!